Way to not injure your junk.
Presented by Tim Hortons, it is SportsCenter with Jay and Dan here on TSN. Thanks for joining us, everybody. The top story in sports on Monday evening, Game 2, the Western Conference Final between St. Louis and San Jose, following a Game 1 that was lopsided in a victory for the Sharks.
That's right. Maybe you missed it. Happened Saturday night. Sharks won that one 6-3. So Game 2, St. Louis trying to get the split. The Sharks feeling loose.
And here he is,
Eric Carlson says, "Hey, Nyquist, get out of here."
Fun out there.
Blues coming off that 6-3 loss in Game 1. Just 2 minutes in. Jaden Schwartz.
Back for Tarasenko. Shot was blocked.
Top bunk on Marty Jones. Schwartz has his team leading 9th of the playoffs. 1-0 Blues. Robert Bortuzzo hits Marcus Sorensen. Big night for Bortuzzo. Vince Dunn made it 2-0. Blues on the power play in the second. Logan Couture, friend of SportsCenter with Jay and Dan. Holding off Alex Pietrangelo, scores. Slides it past Jordan Bennington, who overcommitted. Great play by Couture, and he's having a postseason to remember. His league-leading 12th goal and 18-point. Sharks cut the lead to 1. On Couture's very next shift. Takes the pass and goes fin hole on Bennington. Couture scores 2 goals in under 2 minutes. The Sharks have tied this game, and the Shark Tank bubbling over. Still in the second. Bortuzzo goes forehand to backhand. Look at this goal. That's Bortuzzo's first goal in 31 career playoff games. 3-2 Blue Notes. Midway through the third, Kevin Labanc. One-timer. Bortuzzo blocks it. Bennington jumps on top of him. 5 minutes to play. Timo Meier. Here's to get high stick. No call. Oscar Sundqvist scores his 4th of the playoffs. The Blues win 4-2, so they do get the split.
You're down by a goal. There's
in
just
San Jose.
3 minutes to play.
Blues earned their 6th road win of the playoffs, matching their franchise record set in 2016. And St. Louis wins for the first time in their last 5 in San Jose. Jordan Bennington, dynamite following a loss. In the regular season, he won all 6 games after a Blues loss, and in the playoffs, he's been great as well. He backs up the Blues to within 3 wins of reaching their first Cup final since 1970. Game 3 is Wednesday in St. Louis.
Hey, great start to the show, Dan. Yesterday, I told you that Slovakia's team at the World Hockey Championship featured the Stastny brothers, Peter, Anton, and Marian, who all played for the Quebec Nordiques in the 80s. It was a joke, but as it turns out, the host nation is not joking when it comes to this tournament. They are taking it very seriously, and we found that out when they played Canada on Monday. Pierre-Luc Dubois, the Blue Jackets, added to the roster, making his tournament debut. Opening frame, Slovakia already up 1-0. Matt Murray makes a great initial save. Puck squirts loose. Adam Liška finishes it off. Canada down 2-0 to the Slovaks 10 minutes in. Still in the first, Canada breaks out. Jared McCann to Kyle Turris to Anthony Mantha. Mantha's 3rd goal in the last 2 games, and Canada is on the 4th. Then less than a couple of minutes later, Canadian power play. Mantha, Shea Theodore. His shot beats Patrick Ryder. Canada erases that 2-goal deficit. Second frame, Slovakia has that 2-goal lead back. Jonathan Marchessault beats Ryder. Second of the tournament, cuts the lead to 1. Looks like Ryder was screened. 2 minutes later, Canada working it around. Buffalo Sabres Sam Reinhart to Anthony Cirelli in the slot. His shot is stopped. He follows it up with his own rebound. 19 goals as a rookie. Cirelli for the Bolts this season. He ties it back up. Third frame we go. Canada now up 5-4. Slovakia pouring it on. Murray, huge save on Martin Marincin. Rebound back in the slot. Thrown back on net. It's off Damon Severson and in. First time ever Slovakia scored 5 times against Canada in this tournament. We're not at a 5. Good crowd at this point. Dying seconds of the frame. In fact, 2 seconds left on the clock. Mark Stone. Short side corner. In fact, there was 1 second left on the clock. On Mark Stone's 27th birthday, he comes up clutch for Canada. They avoid overtime. They pick up the win. But this is where it got serious. The home crowd starts throwing coins on the ice. Euros, we assume. Maybe they were loonies and toonies. Either way, not cool.
And they booed during the Canadian anthem. I had to talk my mom off a ledge. She wanted them kicked out of the tournament.
Slovakia, the host nation, not good sports when they lose. Group A standings, the win gives Canada 6 points, Slovakia in 5th with 3 points. I mentioned Anthony Mantha, 2 more points in this game. He's one off the tournament lead, which is currently held by Toronto Maple Leaf, William Nylander. After that wild game Monday, Canada gets 2 days off. They're back at it Thursday. They'll take on hockey powerhouse, France. That's Canada against France.
A meeting of 2 of baseball's biggest stars Monday night in Philly. We had it on TSN. Bryce Harper against Christian Yelich. And if we're comparing their seasons, it's Yelich in a landslide. 16 homers, 338 average. Harper, 7 home runs, 229 average. But here's the question I always ask about star players. Who would you pay more money to see?
Right.
There's no wrong answer. Since the start of last season, Yelich has 11 more home runs than Harper. He's hitting 328 compared to just 245. Yelich with a man on.
Left field towards the line.
Was opposite field over the head of Andrew McCutchen. They looked at it to see if it was a home run. It was not. MLB leading 38th RBI. Bottom 1, 2 on. Nobody out for Harper. Gone swinging on a 79-mile-an-hour curve. Bottom 3, Harper. Let me just watch his strike 3 this time. Harper strikes out for the 54th time this season. He's on pace to strike out 219 times. 4th game with 3 Ks this season. Top 7, it's tied at 4. Brewers with the bases loaded. Mike Moustakas, it's in and right. Okay, Harper contributing with the glove. Gets the Phillies out of a jam. And the Phillies do win this one, 7-4.
Your reigning Rookie of the Year, Shohei Ohtani, still recovering from Tommy John surgery. His Angels taking on the Twins. He was testing out his arm from various distances before the game, went back as far as 110 feet, all for the first time since his off-season surgery. He finished his rookie campaign with 22 home runs. No home runs so far this year until...
That is skied out toward left center field, hit well. Buxton moving back to the track. That is gone.
Oh, wow, is that crushed.
Big fly, Ohtani-san is first of the year, and the Angels have taken the lead.
430-foot home run. 4th inning, Angels up 1. Willians Astudillo pops it up. Should be an easy out for Albert Pujols. Now 2 outs. Inning should be over. Mitch Garver with 2 on. Hits one deep. And this one is not gone. Brian Goodwin made a catch. Brian Goodwin. Angels, hold on. 5-4 the final. Boy, we are just getting started. And what is turning out to be a pretty impressive performance by Dan and myself. Still to come. The day after the greatest shot in Raptors history, the focus shifts to these finals. That's next. You're watching SportsCenter with Jay and Dan on TSN.
At 90 with 4.2 to go here in Game 7. Kawhi up top, looks at the clock, turns the corner. Is this the dagger?
Dramatic ending, but a more dramatic shot than that one made by Kawhi Leonard.
It's the biggest shot made in Canadian basketball history.
and Kawhi Leonard's name is attached to it.
Yeah.
We're sitting here now. It was the shot heard around the world, broadcast in several countries in many different languages.
But those weren't the only ones. More calls of the Kawhi shot are still trickling in, and they are from some unexpected sources.
And we're back on the Major League Baseball channel. Kawhi Leonard up at the dish. And that is a long fly ball. And it is caught by the net. Too bad. That's one away.
We return to our continuing coverage of the Eastern Conference semifinals from Toronto. This is Kawhi on 4 for the lead. Makes it. Sensational read. Hopefully he can carry this momentum into the par 5 fifth.
Oh, it did. Who's that with the ball? What? Oh, no. No, man. No way, man. No way. This isn't real.
I need to update my Bell channels.
I love my Bell 5. Love it.
That shot sent the Raptors to these finals, and now the focus has quickly shifted to the Bucks. With more, the Mayor of Canada, Rod Black.
So the day after the shot, Kawhi's shot, guess what, Jack Armstrong and Leo Routens? Forget about the shot. Now you got to concentrate about the Milwaukee Bucks, and you've got to concentrate on the other monster in this series, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Oh, he's a fabulous player. I'm so excited, Leo, for this matchup between two superstars. And, you know, obviously LeBron James not in the playoffs this year, so the spotlight's going to be on different players. And two guys that are deserving to have that spotlight are in this series.
Arguably the MVPs of the playoffs thus far, both of these guys. And what makes them special, both players are about the team. They're winners. And you can bet one thing. They're both looking at this playoffs and saying, you know what? Maybe we can win the whole thing right now, which is going to make this matchup even more special.
Yeah, the door is wide open, especially in the East, because, you know, that guy, the guy is no longer around. But these two guys, when they are on the court together, you can't take your eyes off of them. You got to think Kawhi is coming in brimming with confidence, as are the Raptors after the shot. What about the defenses that they may face from the Milwaukee Bucks?
Well, it's a little bit different. I think when you played Orlando and when you played Philadelphia, you were playing teams that were, Leo, I would say a little bit more athletic, a little long, particularly on the perimeter, where the Raptors at times had tough time getting even jump shots off.
Yeah, I mean, you look at, there's an Embiid against Philadelphia, and you're not going to see an Embiid the rest of the way. So, you know, you're talking about a big guy that can really dominate in the paint, and at other positions you have length. When you're playing Milwaukee, you're going to see a more traditional type of team, which I think is going to favor the Raptors' depth a little bit better. The athleticism, the length that the Raptors face with Philadelphia, and as you said, Jack, Orlando, you know, that was a tough round, and I think the Raptors got through it amazingly well.
You know, when you look at the reality of it, I think the Raptors faced the toughest first-round matchup in Orlando, and then they faced an incredibly long, athletic, difficult matchup, talented matchup in the second round against Philadelphia. That should have them prepared and primed for this matchup.
No question about it. I mean, even the Kawhi Leonard, you know, he had Ben Simmons with tremendous length guarding him every single play. It's going to be a little different now.
So it's a Beer Town against the Big Smoke. It's the Claw against the Freak. It's the Bucks against the Raptors. Game 1 Wednesday in Milwaukee.
Claw and Order. Great title there, Hound Dog. Stats guy. Brilliant. Oh, he stole it from someone. He stole it.
He stole it from, who's the creator of Law and Order? Dick Wolf. Stole it from Dick. Here's what I know, Dan. He won't be playing Tuesday, but the Warriors will be playing Game 1 against Portland. It's the Western Finals. And you can see it on TSN beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And also the draft lottery. We'll have the draft lottery for you. And that's huge because Zion Williamson, projected #1 overall pick, he's up for grabs. It's Cleveland, Phoenix, and the New York Knicks all have a 14% chance of getting him. R.J. Barrett expected to go in the top 3 as well. Canadian. When we come back, the top 2 NHL prospects went head-to-head at the Worlds. We'll tell you what happened. It's SportsCenter with Jay Nett on TSN. At the World Hockey Championship on Monday, the projected number 1 and number 2 picks in the upcoming draft went head-to-head, and the New Jersey Devils, who own the first selection, had some fun with that matchup on Twitter, posting this tweet with the caption, "Feeling cute. Might draft one of these guys later. I don't know." Jack Hughes, he'll celebrate his 18th birthday Tuesday. He said he will shed the cage in favor of the visor at that point, which he can do. Hughes driving, banging away at the rebound, couldn't get it to go. He was held pointless in this one. How about Capo Caco? Capo Caco. Expected to go number 2 to the Rangers. Brian Suter got a stick on that one. Caco frustrated. Third period tied at 2. Mad scramble in front. The Mad King, the Mad Queen, all involved. And Caco, his shot blocked by diving Jack Eichel. So Jack Hughes held without a point. Caco held without a point. Overtime was needed. 2-2. Clayton Keller, we're going to spotlight him here. Looks to trip a Finnish player at the blue line. No call. That led to Dylan Larkin. All kinds of time and space. Firing home the game winner. His first of the tournament.
Ooh, that was a slew foot.
As the Finns are handed their first loss.
The Jannies.
Trying to get some
Mike
sort of
Trout.
rising fastballs. This
Liner into right.
field that'll get down for
Marwin Gonzalez, oh boy.
Head to third, the ball gets away, goes to the corner. Tommy
Miss,
will commit a score.
he played that very poorly. It's like he forgot how to play the game of baseball. Robert Bortuzzo. Watch this backhand. Yowzers. First Stanley Cup playoff goal for the pride of Thunder Bay, Ontario.
Saw this earlier. Again, these are the best and worst plays from Monday. So this would fall under the category of worst play. Albert Pujols, just your standard pop-up, should have been easy. No good. Pujols. It's okay.
Let's check on Willie Nylander.
This game has been great.
Okay, still got it. He's going to pass it. Nope. Scores. Sweden beat Norway 9-1. Boy, I can't. Speaking of, saw a great tweet Monday as people ramp up speculation on whether Kawhi's going to stay in Toronto at the end of the season. It's from Sandwich Dad. A friend of mine works at the Bay, says Kawhi came in today and while making a purchase was asked if he wanted to sign up for an HSBC card. He said yes. Nobody says yes. He's staying. The rare D-block walkover.
I love it. Oh, look at the back of Dan's jacket.
Oh,
there we go. That's better. Yeah, this is kind of cool, walking over late. It's like casual and fun.
Hey, you're never too old to switch things up.
That's right.
It's a union violation, I believe. Sorry.
I like those guys.
Yeah.
Mark Stone was the hero for Team Canada on Monday at the World Hockey Championship, scored the game winner against Slovakia with just a second left in regulation. Now, prior to the game, he sat down for the latest installment of the Dreger Cafe.
All right, Mark Stone, this is your first visit to the Dreger Cafe here in Kosice, Slovakia. Now, I get chirped endlessly by James Duthie and Jeff O'Neill because, you know, we don't have the pastries, we don't have the coffee. You don't strike me as a coffee and pastry guy, so we went with the mozzarella and tomato and the baguettes.
Does look quite good.
It's not bad.
Yeah, a little balsamic would be nice, though.
Okay, well, we'll get that to the table. Are you keeping tabs on what's going on in the National Hockey League, or because of how things went in the playoffs with Vegas and San Jose and all of that, you're just taking a bit of a break?
Yeah, I haven't watched a single second of a playoff game since I left. The way that we lost in Game 7 against San Jose was something that
I think it's unbelievable.
I don't think I'll ever see again, and I don't think you'll ever see again.
No, I don't think we'll ever see it again. Probably one of the bigger losses from an Ottawa perspective is the fact that you're not there to help mold and develop Brady Tkachuk. Obviously, he was a roommate of yours. He was living with you in Ottawa. Did you stay in constant communication with him? I mean, that's not going to go away, the relationship that you and he have.
No, absolutely not. I talked to him almost daily until my season was done. He's really turned into a great friend. Even when we lost, he gave me a little bit of time before he texted me, and the text was nice, and he
like a
told
day
me
or two, or was it?
Yeah, it was like a day or two, and then at the end of the text, he said, "You can tell me to bugger off if you want, but just seeing how you're doing." I don't think Brady really needs a ton of assistance anymore. I think at the start he was a little bit maybe overwhelmed with everything that had gone on, but I think as you guys saw in the last 20 games,
great year.
He's going to be a stud.
Nice.
That was great. I enjoyed that. Now, Dan, we love television, and
we're on television.
We're on television, but we've never had the chance to host an after show. Remember, there was the Hills after show with Jesse and Dan Levy. That was a big hit on MTV Canada, and there've been all sorts of different after shows.
Survivor after shows, weren't there?
That's. I think
Back
you're
in the
right.
day.
There's other after shows. Well, now it's time for our very own after show. It's the Dreger Cafe after show, Après Cafe.
One thing that happened there, Stoner almost got hit by that person on the bike. I noticed that.
I also noticed that Darren Dreger said not to put you on the spot, and then he put Mark Stone on the spot.
And do you see all the people walking by? They're like, a Canadian TV star?
Yeah, and they were right.
Yeah.
He absolutely is one. I love his setup, too. It's barrel table and 2 director's chairs. That's a nice, tidy television setup. But the thing we noticed the most, Dan, but there was a celebrity behind Dregs.
I don't know if you guys noticed it at home, but that's Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers, country music superstar, peeking in on the Dreger Cafe. Who could blame him?
And he was enjoying that beer.
Who could blame him for that? This has been Après Cafe. I thought that went really well. And we have more action for the World Hockey Championship on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern. It's hockey powerhouses Great Britain and Denmark. Italy takes on Artur Zerbe and Latvia. Then at 2 p.m., Germany, France, and Switzerland against the Austrians.
Now, for the rest of the stories you need to know. It's time for the Jay and Dan News Reel. Max Holloway and Frankie Edgar have verbally agreed to fight at UFC 240 for the featherweight title. Where's that happening? Oh, just in Edmonton on July 27th. Holloway's coming off a loss to Dustin Poirier for the interim lightweight championship at UFC 236 on April 13th, his first since 2013. Edgar, the former lightweight champ, has fought for the featherweight title twice in his career, coming up short both times to former champ Jose Aldo. And Holloway is a huge fan of Canada and a huge friend of SportsCenter with Jay and Dan.
Big Raptors fan, so he's obviously happy. These two guys were supposed to fight in 2017, 2018. Injuries prevented that, so here we go. They're going in Edmonton. Ryan Kessler underwent hip surgery last week. He's now likely to miss all of the 2019-2020 season. According to the team, Kessler has 3 years left on his deal with an annual cap hit of just under $7 million a season.
Yikes.
And that includes a no-movement clause. So yeah, the Ducks have some serious contract issues that they're going to have to deal with.
Huge CFL news. Punter John Ryan has signed with his hometown Saskatchewan Roughriders. Ryan most recently played with the Seahawks until he was released in 2018 after 10 seasons with the team. Started his career in the CFL with Winnipeg in 04 and 05. And the Riders are loading up. How much does he love the Riders?
I mean, he's a Saskatchewan guy, Regina guy specifically.
This is how much he loves the Riders. There he is.
Right?
He's a young buck.
I mean, this is him. How pumped is he? Thanks. Rod Peterson.
Yeah,
for
Rod, good guy.
The shot there, good guy. The Hamilton Tiger Cats have announced that offensive coordinator June Jones is leaving the team for an XFL head coaching job in Houston. The XFL slated to begin play in 2020. Tommy Condell has been named as Jones's replacement. as offensive coordinator. As somebody pointed out, when you talk about June Jones, he's a well-traveled coach. He's been all over the NFL, college. You better be prepared to have someone ready to go to replace him.
But maybe a bit more notice?
Yeah.
And we don't get his puka shells anymore.
No, I'm going to miss that. I am going to miss it. He was an interesting guy. He was definitely more successful in the CFL than I expected.
Robert Kraft won his own personal Super Bowl on Monday as a judge ruled that video allegedly containing footage of Kraft receiving sex acts at a spa cannot be used in court. Judge stated the video violated Kraft's constitutional rights. The 77-year-old's facing 2 misdemeanor counts of soliciting a prostitute. The video is a key piece of evidence, and I think I speak for all of us when I say no one wants to see that video.
And I think I speak for Robert Kraft when I say, for Robert Kraft, this was a happy ending.
Still to come.
It's off to Leonard, defended by Simmons. Is this the dagger?
Tiene tiempo, a ver, se levanta. ¡No! ¡Sí! ¡Triple! ¡Fantástico! Se agarran la cabeza, se abrazan, festejan.
Top 10 plays for the first 2 rounds of the NBA playoffs. Obviously, that's number 1. And those are great play-by-play calls on Kawhi's shot. But nothing can top this one from our sister station in Quebec, RDS.
Biggest shot made in Canadian basketball history, and Kawhi Leonard's name is attached to it.
He's stay. Sure hope he does.
To join a tasty fisherman's friend.
Ah, Dan's under the weather.
Brand new Jay and Dan podcast. We have a huge announcement on this podcast, and our guest is Leo Routens. If you watch that Kawhi Leonard game-winning shot, you can see exactly where he's sitting, his sight lines, he describes the moment, everything. Check it out. You blew it. We point out our errors. I blew it in the Sharks pack. I said Oscar Sundqvist scored his 4th of the playoffs. It was only his 3rd. I don't know if that was my fault. Zwarich is saying that I blew it. I made a terrible Nico Goodrum pun during the Tigers packet because I said a good rum is Sailor Jerry's. That's not a pun. It's just a truth.
I might side with Andrew on that.
And you blew it. Unfortunately, Arturs Urbe is not playing for Latvia at the Worlds.
Oh, okay. I was surprised. By the way, PA Raiders beat the Vancouver Giants 3-2 in overtime. Dante Hanoun with the overtime winner for the Raiders. So they're off to the Memorial Cup. Congratulations to the PA. First WHL win in 34 years. They'll be partying in Waskesiu tonight.
Yes.
So long, everyone.